So I'll start with a brief introduction for you, and then I'll hand over the class.
As I said, that interaction would be much better. Anyhow, let's see how it progresses and then.
Certainly, sir. So we'll go as per howsoever you suggest. So you are leading the way, and we are all just, how do I say,
Anyhow,
everyone
let's
is.
start. Let's start. First of
Certainly.
all,
May I, sir?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
hello and very good morning to everyone. We welcome you once again for another class, another session of Vestralex free online community classes on law. This is a free legal literacy initiative for you, by you, and obviously absolutely dedicated and committed to all of us. Today, we have the good fortune of learning from Shri Kirti Uppal, sir. He's a distinguished senior advocate at Delhi High Court with a respected career in Indian laws. Known for his deep expertise in constitutional and civil matters, he has handled several high profile cases, advocating on critical legal issues before the courts. Notably, Mr. Uppal served as the president of Delhi High Court Bar Association, where he played an active role in addressing matters affecting the legal fraternity, including cases concerning the safety and welfare of advocates. Beyond his legal practice, Mr. Uppal has been a vocal leader within the legal community, especially in situations that underscored the importance of protecting lawyers' rights and security. His contributions extend beyond the courtroom as he continues to influence legal reforms and professional standards within the judicial system. So it's an absolute privilege, and it's our deepest pleasure and sincere gratitude that we extend to you with folded hands while we invite you for this humble session today, sir.
Thank you.
So just one final thing I want to say before handing over the class to you, and I hope that this may. So,
Can you hear me?
yes, sir.
Keshav?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So just one final thing I want to say before, since you mentioned that it needs to be an interactive session. So, and so since it governs largely a very important topic of first generation lawyers, which I think is mostly underlooked and undermined. So, sir, one incident, one anecdote I want to share with you before I hand over the class to you. So, this is during COVID-19 times when courts were very
Can't hear
sparse.
you.
So, am I audible now?
No, yeah.
So during COVID-19 times, this is a personal incident that I'm sharing with you. Courts were obviously functioning at the barest minimum, but only essential works were happening. So in one criminal matter, I was present at one district court only. And I just happened to meet one senior over there, and we had a discussion, chit chat. So one question he asked me that, Keshav, where are you from? I said, sir, Delhi. He asked me that, so you have your own, so do you stay on a rented accommodation? So your voice, I could not hear, sir. So I am unable to hear you. Everyone, please, guys, guide me. So am I audible to you?
Sir, you are perfectly audible.
You are audible.
So now, sir, these are the technological issues I think which everyone will eventually. So see, imagine how courts are also have functioning today. I think a lot of people have. Kirti, sir, can we try it without the earphones, sir? How it, because you were absolutely very well audible till I think.
Right without the earphones because you were audible at that time. Yes.
I request everyone to kindly keep the mics on mute in the meanwhile. And please just, feel free liberally. We can all speak, but only when we're speaking. Kirti, sir, it's still not there.
Just do this if I'm audible.
Kirti sir is there.
Yes,
Okay,
right
let
now
me just start now. Maybe you're not audible. I'll try
Please.
from somebody else also.
So it went again. It went again, sir.
Sir, your voice not audible, sir.
So we'll bear with you, sir. We're absolutely, it's a privilege. We'll bear with you no matter what. In the meanwhile, a very warm welcome to everyone. I hope that your vacations went well. You had a wonderful time. Diwali, Govardhan Puja, family. So Kirti, sir, we can see you from the new ID.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it looks like, yeah.
So look, actually, sir, this is, I think, better. Video frame is also, I think, more clearer and crisper.
Or maybe this earbuds may be creating a problem. Let me just finally. Sorry, huh? I mean, that's.
No, no, sir. Actually, sir, right now it's very crisp and very clear, both audio and video.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Yeah.
So I just launched a small quiz for everyone. It's like a poll. So I request everyone to kindly just see it in the meanwhile. Till the time we'll figure out sir's video and audio. So, sir, also.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Loud and clear. So let me
Yes.
just start.
Great, sir. So,
Let me first apologize for all this goof up. Maybe they say, na, whenever you want to have the best of thing, you have to struggle a lot. This is the definition of a first generation lawyer. You have to struggle. And coming to where am I now?
you're right here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please, please. I request everyone to kindly just attend now. Please, sir.
So let me restart it. Let me express my gratitude to the Keshav and the team. A subject which is very close to my heart, and a subject which is very close to a lot of people. Before I start with this topic, and I would love, as I said, I would love to have more interaction than giving a discussion, because on a Sunday morning, afternoon, like, that's the worst thing could have happened, and which is listen to another lecture now. So I don't want to have a lecture. I rather want to have more of an interaction. My take on this subject before I actually come down to the real text is just to give a background that I was never ever interested to be a lawyer, and my only childhood dream was to be in the army. And as they say, your dream comes true when you appear for an exam and you become successful, you get an IMA, and you feel that, oh, that's what I wanted and I've got it. But destiny had some other role to play for me. And to cut short a long story short, I couldn't complete my training because of my fall. And I said, I won't be a lawyer. I went back and joined post-graduation. And our time and now time is different. When you had nothing else to do, because you were not getting a job, which I'll try to explain in this first generation problems, because you're just a postgraduate. and you want a topmost job of an MBA, of an IITian, of an IIM, but your qualification does not give you that kind of an exposure. So you said, what to do? Come on, join law. Try for a national hobby at our time was IAS, IPS, IFS. And if nothing else, custom excise, bank officers. So the 3 years, the struggle was going on, what to do, because I had no other plans in my life. And then all of a sudden, I landed in Patiala House. And I was arguing a matter, and there one senior, which is very important for all the youngsters, came and patted me and he says, what are you doing here? I said, sir, I'm practicing. I said, why are you wasting your time here? So I said, well, I'm a first generation lawyer, sir. I have nobody at home. He said, you're wasting your time. Anyhow, come back to High Court. Now it's like an ocean. And like an ocean, you just lost. And I guess whenever I speak to some of the youngsters today, the same old problem we had. Judges' children, lawyers' children, senior advocates' children, top ministers' children, top bureaucrats' children. And you were coming on a DTC bus with hardly any introduction. And by and large, people were not interested in your introduction because they had some better. That first shock, and therefore I'm giving my story. The first shock or a first humiliation during that period made me slightly, that am I going to be like this throughout my life? So I had two things. Either I keep on cribbing or I start working towards something. And I'm in between, I'll be talking in Hindi also because I feel Hindi has more expressive words than the English. Our industry, legal industry, or a legal profession is quite comparable to the film industry. Like when you are young, anybody like me, you, who has a good voice, who has a little bit of good face and all, you just want to be the top star. अरे अमिताभ बच्चन बनना है एक दिन, थोड़ी आवाज भी है, बट हमने अमिताभ बच्चन का वो स्ट्रगल थोड़ी देखना है. हमने तो देखना है कि अमिताभ बच्चन आए, अमिताभ बच्चन मूवी में छा गए, and I have become Amitabh Bachchan in my dreams without doing what Amitabh did. And this name I took was because in our time Amitabh had a great influence. And when Amitabh went down, everyone, those who were talking about superstar, this, that, and the other, they said, "Arey, kuch nahi. Anyhow, he again came back. So there's another lesson which you have to learn from these small little things. As a lawyer, as a first generation, as a second generation, you have to learn a lot of things beyond your four corners of legal walls, I would say, court, books, and all that. And then when you started, you said, "Yeah, I want to be Jethmalani. I want to be Fali Nariman." Again, with no offense to anyone, there's nothing wrong in looking at those characters because they were first generation lawyers. But if you're honest to yourself, you have to ask yourself a question. Am I slogging the way Fali Nariman was slogging? Am I slogging the way Ram Jethmalani was slogging? Am I honest to myself? If the answer is no, then stop dreaming like them. Don't dream about them. Then. Be happy with what you have, your contribution towards your own self. If you are working, say, 33% or a 10% of Jethmalani or a 10% of Fali Nariman, you're bound to get that 10%. You are certainly going to get that 10%. Because one or two cases, you do well, and then all of a sudden you start feeling, "Arey, here's Fali Nariman, Mr. Uppal has come to the stage." And the next day you have that money in your pocket. It says, "Chhod na yaar." I mean, is everything law in your life? Then again you become Kirti Uppal. And you say, it's okay. Then again you get that shock. Oh, I have lost in the race again. So you again start. So this struggle is always there for a lawyer. And how to get out of that struggle, frankly speaking, after 39 years, even I don't know. Because that struggle is always there, constant struggle. And I have a very good quote for this. I normally don't quote, but then this, as I said, this subject is so close to my heart, and which will be useful for people who will today understand, is when you don't need to compare yourself to other people, you gravitate towards things that you instinctively enjoy doing and you're good at it. And if you just focus on that for a long enough time, then chances are very high that you're going to progress towards mastery anyway. And the fame and the power and the money and everything will become as a byproduct rather than something that you chose directly, trying to be superior to other people. This is a wonderful quote. So coming back to my army days, which I say it in every college when I start like this, one of the best things I liked, and I try to work on it again and again, was that when you go for an interview after your selection in the written, the first thing they do is that the moment you land, I don't know about today, but in our time it was there, they'll say, write about yourself. Now, if Keshav has to write about himself, Kirti Uppal has to write about himself, Shubham Garg has to write about himself, whatever name I see here, Simran has to write about herself. Please, let's be honest. Are we going to write something which is negative? We'll say, Kirti Uppal is a great guy. Kirti Uppal is a great listener. Kirti Uppal is a great, brave man. Everything you'll write, good, great, greatest. And mind you, people down your that phase 7 days selection program, they're watching you. They are psychoanalysts. They are infantry guys seeing your bravery. There are intellectual guys seeing your behavior pattern. And when you are selected, you say, what is this? Then you realize, and when they tell you that what you were writing, you're being watched by everyone. Here there is a difference. In our life, it will be, there are people, clients. I'll come later on how to get clients. There are people who are judges. There are people, your colleagues. There are people who are your seniors. There are people who are watching you, arguing for somebody else. Your parents, your friends, they will tell you. I'm not saying what they say, you have to do it. But if you write down about yourself and you see you as a friend, was I right in my approach there? Was I very aggressive? Did I took it lying down from a court? Did I present myself the best of my ability? Mind you, you'll get an answer for everything. Because I can fool you, I can fool everyone sitting in this class. But I can't fool myself. When I have to go to sleep, I'll say, this Keshav doesn't know anything. I know everything. You'll talk to yourself and you'll say, listen, you idiot, you messed up the case. And if that if that process continues, believe me, you will be performing better, irrespective of the fact that you make an aura for yourself. So, coming back again to this first generation thing, if you do these exercises, which I am, and let me tell you, I do it every day. And many a time I kick my butt. I say, I messed up. I could have been better than this. I was trying to be over smart with the youngster. I was telling a briefing counsel, he doesn't know anything, whether he knew more than what I knew. And with the cost of psychophancy, I can say, today's generation is far more intelligent than our generation. The only thing they need is guidance. Now, again, guidance means I'm not going to give you a lecture guidance. See, what happens is, when I said about that army test, that you are your best friend, who would know better than you? And you are very close, maybe your mother, maybe your father, maybe your brother, maybe your sister, maybe a very close friend, maybe out of the profession. He'll tell you, well, listen, you're too good in this field, you have a very good communication skill. You have a very good ability to be social with people. You have one very negative factor. You are impatient. You have a strange behavior that many a time you will just lose the track which you're going. These honest opinion, either you'll get it from yourself. Like when I see myself as Kirti Uppal, I'm like any other personality, I have a lot of negative characters in me, and I have a lot of positive characters in me. There are 3 things or 4 things which was without any validation from others. I realized that I have a good communication skill, and which is what I tell people when I meet these youngsters. While arguing, if I see a youngster is arguing well, I just go and pat his back or her back, because I used to get the same encouragement. So you will realize when you are arguing well, you'll feel yourself, hey yaar, maza aa gaya, Keshav. Like, you'll talk to yourself, maza aa gaya, Keshav aaj. I was so good. The other day I was arguing a matter, and we had a 0 case. And the court said, I'm going to vacate this tree. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, this is what is going to happen. And I took off. And for 1.5 hours, I mean, a person at my age and stage also felt. That was really good. Temporarily, I've taken out from that struggle. Let's see what will happen. But I did my best. So I was very happy. So all of you have to be your own friend, own critic, and you have to be very honest with yourself. The second thing, the second guidance which comes, today, as I said, this generation is far more intelligent. You become intern while pursuing your law. So that this is my career. Now, if you are good at, say, drafting skill, you need not be only Fali Nariman and Jethmalani and Mukul Rohde and Harish Salve. You see, there have been various additional Solicitor General I've been seeing from 1986. There have been few additional Solicitor General who have come to a level of Indian, celebrity type. Are we trying to say that rest of them were duffers? No. They got chance. It's like, today the youngsters won't be getting this experience. Like while you used to go for a long train journey, and You will see those tracks getting changed. Sometimes the track takes a U-turn. But your final destination, suppose if you have to go to Bombay, they'll go to Bombay. So you never know. Like, as I said, when you compare it with the film industry, now Subhash Ghai came as an actor and he became the best director. Some of the best actors try to be director or try to be entrepreneur. They miserably failed, like Amitabh Bachchan. So now failure, success, you want to be this, you want to be that, you never know. And success to my mind is, what is a success? I was like, when I used to walk in the lanes of Nizamuddin, working for a senior, I used to, like any other young lawyer, I won't call it first generation because a young lawyer is as good as first generation now. And he would ask, how much is the rent of that Barsati? Because that's the only thing you could expect. So they are assuming if the guy said it's like 1200, 1800, so you'll just start scratching your head. Not even in my life, I won't even be a tenant in Barsati in Nizamuddin East. And then you will say, oh, काश मेरा फादर कपिल सिब्बल होता, काश मेरा फादर मुकुल रोहतगी होता, काश मेरा फादर ये होता. So with this kind of a feeling, I was very anti, I would say, judges, children lobby, senior children's lobby. And we had an excellent, I would say, a bar leader. If I get 10% of what his personality was, I'll consider myself to be the very, very, very successful person. That was P.N. Lekhi. And I went to him, and I was yelling, I was cribbing, I was crying, that this is how we are humiliated. This is how we are not called in a party. If we are called in a party, somebody will say, "Tu kaisa aaya?" Bus mein aaya. Acha. And I look down upon you, and I don't blame them. And then, very smilingly, he looked at me. Normally, he would have said, "Nahi, beta, ye wo mehnat karo," because then I would have had an answer. मेहनत तो मैं बहुत कर रहा हूँ. कुछ नहीं होता है मेहनत से. वो जजेस के वो वकील वो शाम को बैठते हैं, उसके फादर उस जज के साथ बैठते हैं. So we had an answer. And he was such an intelligent person. He said, while walking slowly with me, turned back, looked at me and said, because he knew I have a daughter, your daughter will not have this problem. I said, what is this, man? I'm talking about myself, and this guy is saying your daughter will not have any problem. Then I realized after some time, what he's trying to say is, you're a first generation lawyer. And I saw Lekhi sir, a first generation lawyer. He made a mark. Today, when you see in a larger picture of a lot of personalities, they have been I would say, a lot of judges have come. I must have been now from 86, I must have seen around 150, 160 judges retiring. And 100 great lawyers, good lawyers and great lawyers who have been some influence. You remember only 4 or 5 people. Like, if you talk about Delhi High Court, you will always remember Justice H.L. Anand, latest Justice Badar, Justice Muralidhar, Justice Shakdar, and many other. I mean, by not naming that doesn't mean they were not. Some of them were great judges and great lawyers like like Mr. Nariman, Mr. Jethmalani, and I'm not talking about the present one because that'll amount to psychophancy. And they were like, they gave you this impetus, they gave you this thought for thinking that, listen, life is not all that easy what you think. Life has been very tough. Like, when I read about Fali Nariman, a man who was in Burma and how he came, how he survived, and how for 12 years, just imagine now today, if it happens to you, me, we'll go berserk. 12 years didn't have even a single brief. And we always crib, which reminds me of a famous story in Mahabharata that Karna came and told Krishna, Lord Krishna, मेरे साथ ये हुआ, मेरे साथ वो हुआ, मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, मेरे साथ वैसा हुआ, मेरी mother, and blah blah blah, and you also, like, killed me. And then he said, what are you talking about yourself? मेरे साथ क्या हुआ? मेरे 8 भाई बहनों को मार दिया, 7 या 8 whatever. मुझे पहले ही दिन पैक करके भेज दिया. मेरे पेरेंट्स होते हो मैं किसी और का था. मैं जिसको प्यार करता था वो मुझे मिली नहीं. मेरे को ये सारी महाभारत के बाद बोला जाएगा कि तू ही इसका कारण है. You could have stopped this war. And everybody blamed me. So he's like, it's life is like this. Or I mean, we don't. Let me tell you like this, that may not believe that this is a mythological story or this is this, but you take it as a story. If you take it as a story, just imagine we talk about ourselves every day. I mean, I also talk. Why blame others? I also talk. So, भगवान राम का पूछे अगर कोई, यार, everything was in line, everything is online, अभिषेक होने वाला है, and all of a sudden the next scene what you see is the poor man is in the jungle, with no future. So it's like life is like this only. Life, and imagine now, like, to all my young friends, just imagine if you have a life of BMW and what is now new cars like Bentley and everything. Are you going to stop thinking? जब काम बहुत आता है, many a day, many a time, like, we say, यार क्या कर रहे हैं लाइफ में? What are we doing? Lot of work. And then जब नहीं होता है 1-2 दिन, oh God, ये केशव मेरे से आगे निकल गया यार, ये बीके शर्मा मेरे से आगे निकल गया, शुभम आगे निकल गया. So my dear friend, life will always be like this. You have Bentley, you want to have an aircraft, you'll never be satisfied. And to some extent, it's good that you're never satisfied, because satisfaction will stop you from progressing. There is a lot of difference. I today can afford to say this. I may be having a lot of things and acquisitions which a lot of youngsters would be aspiring to. But there's always one thing which is bothering me. Always. And I'm writing a book on the impact of Hindi movies and its dialogues on our day-to-day life. I hope I'll be able to complete it before I say final goodbye. And that is also keeping me alive, that I have to be another 20, 30 years so that I can keep on writing. And mind you, all of the people who are listening here, watching here, they have all excellent stories about themselves. The only difference is they feel shy. All these stories which you hear, they have gone through all those phases which we have gone or you are going. So what is that? Somebody patting. I myself, खुदा आ गया uppal साहब, अभी तक के वो पैट मेरे को हो नहीं पा रहा है. So maybe I'm struggling for that. So coming back again, as I told you, interaction would have been much better, because I tend to off track, and please tell me whenever you guys are getting bored, please let me know. Because beach mein, I put a lot of philosophy, I put a lot of these mythological stories, because our parents, my mom, they used to, particularly mother, used to tell us a lot of these stories. So as and when we face this kind of a problem, we remember those words, and then, it gives us that, to give you a small example, ger gaye, chot lag gayi. When you were just 3-year-old kid, and your mom will start singing patriotic song. At that time, we didn't know, we didn't read Sigmund Freud, but it just got distracted. Your mind got distracted from pain, and you started thinking about, कि यार मेरे को तो अभी ऊपर जाना है. So let's start now. I had enough of, I think, giving this lecture. And we have to start as a first generation. First of all, as I told you, your generation is much more intelligent. Within that 3 years of your internship, you come to know, what am I supposed to do now? If you know that you have a good communication skill, you must choose a line of an arguing counsel. Must join an office where you are able to get some exposure. And again, there are a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, when they come to me and they tell me, sir, I wish I could have joined X office, Y office, Z office. I ask them the question, do you know about Fali Nariman? How many juniors he had? How many of them have reached a level of Fali Nariman? The answer is no. Some of them may have chosen some other field. Jethmalani's, some kids now I see they're doing quite well. But last 40 years, Jethmalani has produced umpteen number of juniors. No one has been as near as Jethmalani. Soli Sarabji, you can just give one example of Harish Salve. But some of them have become judges. So we keep on choosing whatever we get and wherever we get satisfied. So to be Fali Nariman, to be Jethmalani, you have to work hard. But when you have to start, and particularly when you're watching everyone, it's not necessary the best of office gives you the best of exposure. A lot of these youngsters have apprehension that if I had joined so-and-so office, I would have been so-and-so. Sorry. If somebody joins, I may not be at that level, but somebody joins Mr. Uppal's office, the client won't give that brief to that X junior or a Y junior. He has come here, he's paying a hefty amount of money. He would not like his case to be, the client or the client would think, yeah, mess up kar dega ye. But yes, when you joined an office, howsoever big or a small office it is, as I told you in the beginning, you keep on working. You never know who's looking at you. That person will pick you up. They'll say, this guy, X, has got a marvelous skill in drafting. Somebody will say, this guy has a great commercial mind. Usko NCLT. Now you have so many exposures. So you keep on, you work wherever you want to work. But if you focus, I don't want to say because this guy must be watching this program. And the way I see him getting so focused, and he says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So many a times I question him, pagal ho gaya hai. What's your age? I say, sir, I have to do this. And I tell you, I become so happy when I see him in the court, sometimes I'm facing him, and it becomes a great challenge because that man many a times creates a lot of problem for me. So, I feel happy. So, a first generation lawyer from a poor background. So, it's like, what do you call, again, a very famous quote, which is very close to my heart, which is, sometimes you are unsatisfied with your life, while many people in this world are dreaming of life, your life. A child in a farm sees a plane fly overhead and dreams flying. But a pilot on the plane sees the farmers and dreams of returning home. That's life. If wealth is the secret to happiness, then the rich should be dancing on the street. But only poor kids do that. If power ensures security, then officials should walk unguarded. If beauty and fame being ideal relationship, then celebrities should have the best marriages. So, we all tend to have something which we don't have, and we don't enjoy what we have. Anyhow, this is philosophical. Coming back to that, since I'm not getting any questions, therefore, I'll continue. The moment you ask me a question, that will be, you'll be doing.
A tremendous number of questions. Only thing is that what you are saying is so meaningfully resonating with everyone.
No, Keshav, I won't take that, because interesting becomes only when you have questions. Resonating,
So,
obviously, it's.
Everyone is focused, absolutely hooked by every single word that you are saying.
I can only say I'm grateful for that, but okay, let me talk about myself. I speak from my heart.
Sure.
And I'm brutally blunt also. So coming back to that first generation lawyer, again, I'll tell you. When you have a personality, suppose if now Keshav, let me give you an example of Keshav. He's a first generation lawyer. I'm sure he must be going through all these phases in life. But he started this class. You a lot of you will ask, "Arey, what 70 people, 100 people? What difference does it make?" Shivaji started his life with 17 soldiers. I'm a postgraduate history student, so therefore a lot of history will come in my answers. So he started from a 17 soldiers. Did Shivaji knew that he's going to one day go and attack Delhi also, or Agra also? So now this train journey of Keshav has slightly taken a turn towards this. And all of you must be grateful to, and particularly I am very grateful to him, because he makes a platform where, we learn from each other, which is so important. I have again no complaints against the first generation. I'm one of those lucky chaps. I've always been invited to youngsters' parties. To some people I tease, some of my juniors I tease. When they don't invite me, I said, "Sale, tumse acha dance karta hu main abhi bhi." I can dance 2 hours non-stop. So when I go to youngsters' party, great party, and you must have great fun. No complaint, but you must listen to this carefully. There, we are all from a different background. None of us, as a youngster, none of us will talk about how to get along in life now. Suppose somebody, let me give you an example. Somebody is in NCLT. Now he gets a work of a Delhi High Court or say Supreme Court. भाई अमिताभ बच्चन को भी शर्म नहीं आई थी जाके यश चोपड़ा से काम मांगने में. When he was going down, he said, "Give me one movie," and he had millions and billions as debt. House was almost to be sold. Decree was there. So he went. I mean, that's what we read it. He went to Yash Chopra and said, "Give me a." Now, three things. You are into this profession. You have to be outspoken if you want to reach a particular level. I may have the best brains, but if I'm not able to reach to people, to clients, to my own colleagues, it's of no use. ये मैं तो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट हूँ, ये तो गधा है, इसको पता नहीं कैसे काम मिल जाता है. अरे उस गधे को नहीं देखा ना हमने कि वो बेचारा कहाँ जाके किससे काम मांग के आता है और वो अपनी वर्थ दिखाता है. वो गधेपन से आगे निकलता है और मैं अपने उसी एरोगेंस में रहता हूँ. मैं आई विल गो टू दिस guy knows nothing. So we start with this guy knows nothing. That's not for a first generation or even for the second generation. Because unless you have work, now this is a very strange thing. Again, I'll put this into a very beautiful song. गोलमाल है भाई सब गोलमाल है. रुमाल चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो रोटी बनाने के लिए पैसा चाहिए, पैसा कमाने के लिए पैसा चाहिए. Like, yeah, you hardly get an answer. But yes, you do get an answer. And whatever I'm going to say, please don't take it as a complaint. Because I see a lot of youngsters, great future in them. And I know they'll be far more better than we guys are. But some of them, like, I gave a little bit of background. I had that initial attitude because living in a Lutyens zone, 3-acre bungalows, and then all of a sudden in a Barsati. So like, it's like a filmy scene, like, आसमान से गिरे, खजूर पे भी नहीं अटके, जाके सीधे धरती पे गिर गए. आ गए इस प्रोफेशन में. कहाँ तो like we were thinking, यार army and then general will retire. Today when I go to Gymkhana Club and I see those poor general who had 14 lakh soldiers under his command, and that poor general carrying his tray of coffee, tea, or whatever, you get this kind of a life. The life is of a full circle. And the more you are successful, the more when you come down, you realize कि ये भी लाइफ देखनी पड़ेगी. The famous hero से जोकर बन जाना पड़ता है. Yeah, some of the top lawyers I've seen in their fag end, the poor fellow was holding his pan. Anyhow, that's a future situation. So when you were working as a first generation lawyer, you are with your senior. Now, the real issue is, how will you get a client when you branch out? Now again, two situations. If your senior is good, which you will come to know in 3-4 months, 6 months. If your senior is good, he'll start giving you work. I know a lot of seniors who give their work. कि यार ये मैं नहीं कर सकता, do it. You have to be very loyal to that office. I've seen a lot of people वो कहते हैं इसका तो साले का सामान ले जाओ यहाँ से उठा के. That doesn't take you very far. Again, I told you, you're your best friend and best critic. While you're going off for sleep, that thing will always haunt you. That I didn't do this right to him. However bad the senior was. Second, that's the most important thing for a young lawyer. we were taught by our seniors, in which I tell a lot of youngsters. At that time, you would get a remuneration, I would call it $750, 1100, 1500. Your rent was 600. So you won't, anyhow, you kept on working, and the senior was good. He'll say, ye kar lena tum. We are able to make 2,000, 3,000 a month, which was like, the first thing was 600 rent and 300 to 500 motorcycle petrol. The best life. Believe me, my first motorcycle was the best life. BMW and Audi may not be giving me that happiness as motorcycle ride used to be. When I'm teased by my wife and daughter, you still drive as if you're driving a motorcycle. Because that's the thing which you always want to remember. So if you are free by 7:30, then you started on your own. Now you didn't know what to do, which is very important for these youngsters, is pick up an office. Suppose somebody is doing quite well in NCRT, NCLAT, NCRDC. You just go and join him. And I told you, don't shy. Say, sir, I'll look after your matter in High Court. I'll look after your matter in Supreme Court. I'll look after your matter in District Court. Initially, he may have or she may have some reservation, but you'll be successful in continuing, not with A, B, C, D. कहीं ना कहीं तो इतना, अगर इतनी, मतलब I always go to that extent, अगर इतना ही आपका लाइफ में नहीं लिखा होगा, तो तुम कुछ भी बनोगे तो उसमें ये प्रॉब्लम रहेगी। आप वो नहीं बनोगे, डायरेक्टर बन जाओगे, आप जज बन जाओगे, ऑप्शन तो बहुत है। You have options to go and join any white collar job. You can go and join what do you call, corporate work. It'll all depend on what you want. I mean, you want to continue holding your fort, come whatever may, मैंने तो यहीं रहना। कभी ना कभी तो ऊपर वाले को भी तरस आ जाएगा कि यार ये बेचारा इतनी देर से लगा हुआ है, इसको कुछ तो दे दो। So now when you go to that senior, he starts giving, and I did this. Then there was another, because this senior didn't have that kind of work. Then I went to another senior who became ultimately a Supreme Court judge. I was with him, and he would say, "Ye kahan? Jao, karo." So we reach home at 12:31. So with three people, and the senior who told you कि कुछ पैसे, जैसे अगर आपने किसी महीने में 4,000 कमाए, तो आप सोचो आपने 3,000 कमाए. You keep that 1,000 as if you have not earned that. Unfortunately, at that time I was not drinking, so this expense was not there. Not smoking, not drinking. 5-6 years down the line, I had a girlfriend with whom I got married. She was more simple than I was. If I told her कि चलो impress करना होता था ना, चलो let's take her to some 5-star. He said, why? You're trying to impress me, I'm already impressed. So I am lucky also. Like, you have to be lucky also. This factor will always be there. And this continued for a very long time. When I was in Mayur Vihar for a very long time. So I used to say, like, God has been kind, let's go to defense colonies. So why? People know you. They also know you that you are in Mayur Vihar. Doesn't make any difference to your stature. You have Wagoner. Doesn't make any difference to your stature. So, okay. So coming back to that, with those two lawyers and with my own work, I continued. That struggle was there, but then, you were able to. And plus, as I said, God has been very kind. And our first generation be it a male lawyer or a female lawyer, the first and the most important thing is your better half. If your spouse is a lawyer, which I personally feel is the best teamwork you have, somebody is working, you are struggling, that person is getting X amount. You're getting X plus. Why? Because that X amount is kind of a retainership. Mind you, in my 39 years career, I have never been appointed a local commissioner, hardly a amicus, no government panel, no any favoritism, which I feel that it was, all these things are blessing in disguise. Yeah, I did feel at that time, I used to feel, I look at this guy, he's got a local commissioner, 1 lakh, 50,000, 30,000, at that time it was 10,000. मैं तो आज तक के कोई साला किसी ने मेरे को दिया ही नहीं. And I today, with again no offense to all those people, I've seen a lot of judges' children. I've seen a lot of those lawyers' children. We all started together. And mind you, in our group, I won't name them because there are a lot of people. I know at least 7, 8 people we used to go on a motorcycle. Today, all were on a rented house. Somebody were on a 1-room flat. Somebody was in a basati. Some of them became additional solicitor general. Some of them became the best of these commercial lawyers, NCLT, NCLT. Some of them became great high court lawyers. Some of them became senior advocates. जो कुछ छोटे मोटे मेरी तरह बच गए वो प्रेसिडेंट बन गए. So this is how I see a lot of questions now. Can you please look at those questions and ask me? Because now I feel that people are enjoying, so they are asking some question.
Sir, certainly, sir.
Keep on
So-
asking me now.
Certainly, sir.
I hope it was interesting.
So very meaningful. Actually, every single word, as I said, sir, it just resonates very deeply with everyone because you addressed all kinds of major issues which everyone feels. And I just want to thank you, sir, for primarily telling us that, it is that you will have to go through the struggles, because I think somewhere, I think we all want to escape the struggles. So it's very kind of you to and not just say it, you gave us examples for all of that. So that's very meaningful. So there is one question from Mr. Mohit Mudgal. Mohitji, you want to ask your question? Or do you want me to ask it for you?
Mohit is the same guy who's contesting election.
No, no, so, I don't know. So Mohit Mudgal, is it? So
Yes,
actually,
yes.
I'm not very aware of the elections and all. I
यार
actually
चेहरे
got to know
चेहरा
you
भी
are
दिखाना है
contesting
क्वेश्चन पूछने के
I
टाइम.
got to know that you are contesting after we had finalized the class.
Yeah.
I did not
Now,
even know that.
I want to see face of those people who ask questions. Yeah, Mohit, you
Hi,
are
sir.
not a first generation lawyer. That's why I
I'm
said
absolutely a first generation lawyer,
you
sir.
are a grandson-in-law of a grand a lawyer who was a first generation lawyer and he made a great name for himself. KK
Amazing.
Suits.
So it'll be great
Thank
to
you so
know
much,
about
sir.
that.
But coming from me, so taking on to what you said, sir, that your first, the biggest help, you kind of answered my question because my question to you, sir, was that what are the top 3 attributes one requires to succeed as a first generation lawyer? So the first part you answered, you said that your spouse is the person who will play a pivotal role in your life, which you, before even seeing the question, you answered. So thank you for that. But what are the other attributes that you would
Yes.
want to have us imbibe to make a mark as a person?
Perseverance. Thus you can use it anytime. Many a time that comes in our life. And this is like, even the top lawyers, sometimes they feel, अरे यार ये मैटर तो मेरे पास आना चाहिए था, ये उस पे कैसे चला गया? Now money is not the issue for them. So uncertainty is a great game of this profession. Today, like, I may have the best of clients. Tomorrow I may not have. Mohit Mudgal pe chale gaye. अरे इसमें कैसे चले गए, इसका क्या पेज था. So perseverance. See, that's what I told you. What you want to be, you have to be very clear. You want to reach a particular level in this profession. I tell you, it's like, okay, let me give you an example. Like, I was going on a right track. And in 8 years, because we have today judges, we had earlier also, who would actually promote youngsters, and they would know the background. And while you are showing your ability, communication skills, and your senior comes, and then he'll tell your senior, sit down. Yes, Mr. Uppal. Now, Mr. Uppal would have been in cloud nine. मेरे senior को बिठा दिया. Then I changed my track. I got into bar politics. I suffered a lot because of that. I gained a lot. So I said, you have to actually analyze within yourself. Yeah, these are my shortcomings. These are my strength. Continue with your strength. With shortcoming, try to improve upon it. I don't know whether I have improved, but at times I say it's okay. There's a part of life. You get this, then it is taken away. You get this, then it's taken away. But at the end of the day, I can only tell, and I want to tell everyone, rarely I get into this depression thing. Rarely, because I always feel I am what I am, so therefore I have to get what I have been working on it. If I want to get a lot of money, देखो अगर आप कार, अगर सपोज आप, let me give you an example, आपको कार लेनी है, Mercedes लेनी है, so you walking on a road and you will just see Mercedes. You will not see any other car because your mind is clogged with that thought process. Mercedes. You want to buy X car, Y car, so you want to be a top arguing counsel, you will get a chance. And let me tell you, like, Delhi High Court, I can again, I'm a great critic also. Many a times I give my peace of mind to the other side. But I must tell you, it is only court where I have seen now. You start taking names of the lawyers who become senior advocates. 90% of them are first generation lawyers. 90%, mind you. And you know Mohit and you know Keshav. All of them are from first generation. So they chose that they want to be lawyer only. Be it Jayant Mehta, be it Dayan Krishnan, be it Raj Shekhar Rao, be it Sunil Dalal, be it any, I mean, I don't want to miss out names, but these are all first generation. Ramji Srinivasan, one of the top lawyers. Sanjay Jain, Maninder Singh, another Maninder Singh, Pramod Dubey. I mean, I have hundreds of names. कहीं ना कहीं तो जगह बना ही ली ना उन्होंने.
बिल्कुल.
अब अगर एक्स आदमी उस लेवल पे पहुंचा है और वो कह रहा है यार, आई हैव नॉट रीच मुकुल रोहतगी, I have not reached Fali Nariman. This is, it's not in your hand. You continue doing it. Maybe look at your Attorney General. He was always a good lawyer. He got chance somewhere at the age of 65, 70 now. I guess 70 plus. Attorney General. For a lawyer, age should not be. We are not cricketers. We are not actors. Huh? Look at Sachin Tendulkar. 36 साल के बाद बेचारा रिटायर हो गया. अब वो मैदान पे जाएगा, उसको ठीक है ग्रीट करेंगे, आई मीन इज अ ग्रेट गाय. बट अगर साथ में विराट कोहली निकलेगा तो एवरीवन विल रन आफ्टर विराट कोहली, नॉट आफ्टर सचिन तेंदुलकर. सिमिलरली द एक्टर्स. अब वो कहीं से कौन सा वो एक्टर आर्यन आ गया, कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं, कुछ नहीं, So he became Aryan, and today everyone, people forget. I mean, they say, "अरे अक्षय कुमार की वो भूल भुलैया flop हो गई." Look at Aryan. So Aryan is Aryan now. Somebody else will come in place of Aryan. So if you start calculating with your age कि यार मैं इस एज में ये उस एज में वो, तो then I don't think. The best part of this profession is if you keep your health in a proper shape. Age is no criteria. You want to be attorney general, continue working it. अब कैसे work करोगे भाई? You have to join a political philosophy. अब ये नहीं कहना कि जी ये अगले 30 साल तक रहेगा तभी मैं बन पाऊंगा. अरे भाई वो तो फिर that is not in your hand. Harish Salve started from a Congress, then went into BJP and all that. So who knew that Harish Salve will be Harish Salve? So continue doing that. You never know. You will be picked up by one of the political guys and they'll say that this guy is great. इसको पिक करो, बिकॉज एसेट को हमेशा हर आदमी पिक करना चाहेगा. अगर मैं लाइबिलिटी हूं, मुझे कोई क्यों पिक करेगा? You see, so we all have, like, this whole screen has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So मैं आज यहां से हटूंगा, मोहित आ जाएगा. Mohit will be what Kirti Uppal is doing. So somebody else, Amit Acharya, will get a chance. वो मोहित की जगह आ जाएगा. So we'll keep on changing these blocks. Well, wonderful, Mohit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moji, for sharing your question, and I hope that you will continue joining us and with all of these questions and discussions. So there is
Sure.
another question. Thank you. There is another question from Mr. Pranav Kumar, sir. Pranav ji, you want to ask your question or you want me to read it?
नहीं उसको बोलने दो, दिखाए अपना चेहरा दिखाएगा ना, then I'll.
Absolutely, sir. But sir, sometimes it happens that some people they don't want.
नहीं Pranav, I know Pranav. So fortunately,
Okay.
I know a lot of people.
Of course, sir. Of course, sir.
I
Yes,
know
sir.
a lot of people, and Pranav knows me quite well, so he shouldn't be. That's what I said in this profession. If you're shy,
Sir.
then.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Pranav. How are you?
Morning,
How's
sir.
your dad?
He's fine as of now, sir.
Good.
Sir, my question is actually the very first day I passed
मैंने
out of.
देख लिया था तेरा क्वेश्चन मेरे छत पे भी यही था, that I started on my own.
लेकिन मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली क्योंकि मैं थॉरली चलता चला गया, केसेस मिलते रहे मुझे. लेकिन सर मोस्टली केसेस मुझे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स के आते हैं. कुछ केसेस होते हैं जो हाई कोर्ट्स के आते हैं. मैंने चंडीगढ़ हाई कोर्ट भी किया, मद्रास भी किया, बॉम्बे भी किया, और 2 केसेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में किए. बट मोस्टली केसेस मेरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स के रहते हैं. मुझे हमेशा ये रहता है कि हाँ मुझे आगे बढ़ना है, हाई कोर्ट में ज्यादा मैटर्स मिले हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मिले. हो सके मेरा अभी वो क्लाइंट बेस अभी नहीं
तुम्हारा कौन सा बैच है?
मैं सर लॉ बहुत बाद किया था, जस्ट बिकॉज फॉर आई वाज राइटिंग
I'm
मेंस.
asking you which batch?
2017 to 20 सर.
20 ना, 20 वाले बैच में देखना किसी को इतना काम मिला जितना तुमको मिला है.
सर मे बी
Absolutely, Pranav ji. Like I must.
You have to
request,
ask.
sir.
Therefore, I said you have to
What
ask
you-
yourself a question. You know, I ask these questions. I have the same problem. मेरे को भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना था. अब मैं सोचता हूँ केशव बहुत आगे निकल गया मेरे से, तो मैं परेशान ही रहूंगा ना यार. यंग एज में केशव चला गया, मैं नहीं गया. मैं क्यों नहीं गया भाई? मुझे नहीं मिला काम, और मिला तो मेरे को वो इनसिक्योरिटी आ गई, विच इज विद एवरीवन, कि यार हाई कोर्ट में इतना पैसे कमा रहा हूँ मैं, वहां जाके एक मैटर में सारा दिन लगा रहूंगा, वहां केशव आएगा, नॉन फेस होगा, वो बोलेगा नो डिसमिस. वहां 4 मुकदमे खराब हो गए, और वो हाई कोर्ट वाले कहेंगे कि यार ये अच्छा हमने लॉयर को करा था, वो वहां चला गया सुप्रीम कोर्ट. सी, इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि आप हाई कोर्ट या सुप्रीम डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के, लाइक मोहित मुदगल के, मैं जब ग्रैंडफादर इन लॉ का नाम ले रहा था, वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट लॉयर्स ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड हाई कोर्ट आर फ्रॉम डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट. You take an example of so many people who have come. डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से प्रैक्टिस करते करते जस्टिस एस.के. महाजन हाई कोर्ट के जज बन गए। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से प्रैक्टिस करते करते कैलाश गंभीर जी हाई कोर्ट के जज बन गए। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट से कई ऐसे लॉयर हैं जो टॉप के वो सीनियर एडवोकेट्स हैं। ऐसा नहीं होता है कि भाई डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में आपका कोई, अगर आपको सपोज अज्यूमिंग नाउ यू वांट टू बी इन हाई कोर्ट, आई टोल्ड यू द सेकंड ऑप्शन,
Yes.
ज्वाइन somebody, show your loyalty towards that person कि सर मैं आपका काम करूंगा, डोंट आस्क फॉर मनी।
So money
आपके पास
doesn't
तो
matter.
काम, आपके पास तो काम आ ही रहा है, तो आप उसे करते रहना। आप हाई कोर्ट में धीरे धीरे एस्टैब्लिश हो जाओगे। ज्वाइन अ गवर्नमेंट काउंसिल, he may also or she may be also needing this kind of assistance from you। एक दो मैटर में इन्वॉल्व हुए, अपना काम दिखाया, टैलेंट दिखाया, वो कहेगा यार रादर टेक प्रणव ऑन केस टू केस बेसिस।
Got it. Thank you, sir.
So, Pranav, thank you so much for sharing those insights, and due to which we also got to learn more. Sir, Kirti, sir, there is one very important word that you mentioned, sir, and so it's one of the closest words to my heart. So we're absolutely committed to mental health. How this entire initiative also got started was because when our seniors they saw that during COVID times that we did not have a lot of work, we did not have a lot of briefs, and frankly, all work had practically stopped only. So they just to keep us all active at that time, they guided us towards this. And so you mentioned the word depression also a few times because and so it strictly resonates personally with me and what my experiences have been so far. So, sir, what is your take on how probably a person who's coming, a young lawyer in general, and more specifically a first generation lawyer who has to deal with, as you mentioned, rent and such allied issues? And so, what is your take for them? What may they do to keep their sanity intact?
See, again, it's person to person. Again, with no offense to anyone, I see a lot of young lady advocates, and it really makes me very happy because in our time, it's still a very male-dominated profession, but in our time, it was very high. See from their point of view, they're working hard. They start making their name. All of a sudden, कोई आ गया हमारे जैसा आदमी लाइफ में, शादी हो गई, चलो जी काम तो कर रहे हैं, then you have a family. Just imagine that person, that lady, that girl, huh? She is like the kind of I would say a mental state at that time is so difficult. Now you have to work as a partner. So now when you don't have work, I told you, you get into this phase. And mind you, money does not make you out of this depression, huh? दीपिका पादुकोणे को अगर कुछ हुआ तो पैसे की कमी नहीं थी. The reason would have been something else. So it's not always money related. When you don't have anything to do, there's so many things you have to do. First is if you have a client profile, अरे यार बड़े दिन हो गए, I haven't spoken to this guy. या बड़े दिन हो गए, I haven't spoken to that senior. या बड़े दिन हो गए यार, I haven't met XYZ. चलो let's meet. And I always say, meet before the drinks. Meet at 6 o'clock. Meet at 5 o'clock. Have a coffee first. Have discussion. 7-8 बजे के बाद मिलोगे तो फिर वही होगा. 4 drink गई and then you are on a different planet. So I remember a friend of mine who was like, who unfortunately died. And he told me like, and I always used to pray to God कि मेरे साथ ऐसा ना हो कभी. And he was doing quite well. Made good fortunes, made a good bungalow, had all the luxury things. And he said one day, He called me, I want to talk to you. I said, yes, what happened? कहता यार 2 महीने हो गए, एक client नहीं आया, एक client. I said, and I don't know what mood I was. I said, जो आया जो दे गया है उसको तो संभाल लो भैया जी, उसको तो लगाओ इधर उधर, फिर टाइम ही नहीं मिलेगा, इन्वेस्टमेंट कहाँ कर पाओगे, और क्या करते रहोगे with all the money coming, either it's going into the bank or going into a locker, and one fine day the story is over. फिर अपने आप से पूछोगे कि यार मैंने किया गया सिवाय पैसा कमाने के. So this 0 to 5 years, I told you, this is the most crucial period where you make a foundation. 5 to 10 years come when you have these kind of depressions. काम है, पैसा थोड़ा आ गया, क्योंकि then the moment आज मेरे को client मिल गया, 2 अच्छे मिल गए, retainer ही मिल गए, and just imagine I never had retainer except for one retainer in my life.
प्लीज हमें सिखाओ ना सर, होता क्या है रिटेनर, क्या होता है?
मैं क्या सिखाऊंगा, मेरे पास तो एक ही था, because मेरा जो बॉस था,
इट्स मोटिवेटिंग स्टिल, वेरी मोटिवेटिंग एक्चुअली.
वो ऐसा बॉस था, and I love him now and I respect him the maximum. उसने कहा किसी क्लाइंट के पास मत जाना, क्लाइंट को तुम्हारी जरूरत है. वो बातें भी ऐसी करते थे, हाई कोर्ट जज रहे हैं, रिटायर हुए, और कहते हैं कि कोई आया क्लाइंट जरा चतुर बन रहा था, सुनेगा, सुनो, वकील का काम और शमशान भूमि के पंडित का काम एक जैसा होता है. बाप तुम्हारा मरा है, वह पंडित बताएगा इधर घी डालो, इधर सामग्री डालो, इधर ये करो, इधर से आग लगाओ. अब तुम उसके पैर से लगाओ, सर से लगाओ, पेट से लगाओ, बाप तुम्हारा मरा है. वकील का वो काम है. अब विद दिस फिलॉसफी sometimes I used to say, अरे यार, what a stupid man I had in my life as a senior. First, my mother used to give me all this weird ideas of life. कि you want to be happy, lead your life on your own terms. You will be happy. You may be successful, you're not, but your happiness will be your success. If you lead a life on somebody else's term, चमचागिरी मैंने भी करी है, ऐसा मतलब कोशिश करी मैंने, तो you may be successful but you'll never be happy. So you have to take a call whether you want to be happy or not. Now 5 to 10 years when you are there, and 10 to 15 you're there, as I told you, that philosophy of my senior, right or wrong, I don't want to get into it. But if you want to continue with that, it's up to you. It's all an individual call. आपके पास 3 दिन 4 दिन ऐसा लग रहा है कोई काम नहीं है, आपने लॉयर्स को ट्राई कर लिया, अपने सीनियर्स को ट्राई कर लिया, आपने सब कुछ, आपको एक लगता है कि यार दिस गाय इज माय प्रोस्पेक्टिव क्लाइंट, he's my father's friend, or he's my uncle so and so, or he's my aunt so and so, or my girlfriend's father, or anything. You have to tap that guy, tap that woman, tap that entrepreneur. It's not necessary that he'll give you work. See, I was like, what to say? Like, when I look back, I realized, am I a fool, or God has been kind to me? In 6 years of my practice, I was appointed as a high-powered committee by Dr. Manmohan Singh. Nonetheless, anybody like Dr. Manmohan Singh, Onkar Goswami committee, and we started moving around the banks all over India. The IDBI chairman coming, this guy coming, ICICI chairman coming, Flana coming, and they are like, they were referring us, sir, this is this, because they thought that I'm a big guy. So I told a person who was at that time finance secretary, I said, sir, and I got all these foolish people in my life, but I today respect them because those foolish people, because I was somewhere close to that personality, I feel. So whatever I say, you have to analyze your personality. If you don't have a personality like me, please don't try this. You will curse me, you will abuse me. So I went to him and I said, sir, this IDBI chairman, sir, this joint secretary, finance, banking, Sir, that ICICI chairman Wagul, sir, that Canara Bank. Should I talk of my retainership with them? Just imagine if I had spoken to them, I would have got it.
Of course,
But
sir.
but he looked at me and he said, you know who you are? You are a member of a high-powered committee. And you're going to beg them? Of some people, according to some people, I'm an idiot. यार इतना मौका मिला छोड़ दिया. And just imagine all banks. The only thing I had to go and ask them. When I look back, I realize that was something great. Because that kick of a first generation, that kick when you get as a first generation, you will not get anywhere else. When you are relaxing, you're saying, कुछ तो किया यार. बहुत कुछ करना था, कुछ तो किया. Like, you know, again, coming back to the film industry, you have guys like Manoj Vajpayee, you have guys like Vijay Raj, you have guys like Om Puri, you have guys like Nasiruddin Shah. That doesn't mean that they are not good actors. Huh? Like Amitabh Bachchan, I hear him, I mean, for whatever reason, he said, these guys are great actors. There's some of the great actresses, from Meena Kumari to Madhubala to, and it's always this discussion wherever you watch is we don't get that kind of money what X gets and Y gets. So now here comes a very beautiful answer by Amir Khan. And he says, so with no offense to any ladies, he says, see, it's a question of marketability. If you can prove that your marketability is better than mine, you'll get more money. अब वही marketability पे है, आपको as a lawyer, as a first generation lawyer, you have to market yourself. To be on a crude side, you have to blow your own trumpet. कोई नहीं करेगा आपके लिए. मिस्टर उप्पल तो अपनी डॉटर के लिए करेंगे, बट केशव के लिए थोड़ी करेंगे. राम मोहन सिंह के लिए थोड़ी करेंगे, शुभम गर्ग के लिए थोड़ी करेंगे, अमित आचार्य के लिए थोड़ी करेंगे, तो अपनी डॉटर के लिए करेंगे. But now, I mean, for the second generation lawyers, when I hear my daughter, she says, I have more struggle than you have. Achha, what's your struggle, yeah? She says, listen, if I do well, everyone will say, ye to hona hi tha. If I don't do well, they'll say, what a duffer she is. So he said,
most certainly.
Your struggle was over when you achieved something. My struggle will be throughout my life.
So we had most humbly, sir, I'm just interjecting, sir. We had a class with Mohit Mathur, sir, very recently. So in that class also, obviously, we were discussing the challenges of the challenges faced by generational lawyers. So I remember that after the class, also a lot of people told me that, oh, you were appeasing him a lot. But that, what are the challenges of a generational lawyer? That how can a person who is, already has someone in the fraternity, how can they have challenges? So, but this is absolutely, sir, what my trail of thought was that it may just seem, but there definitely are so many things which
I don't want to name,
Go
Keshav,
for it.
I don't want to name, and most of these people must be knowing how many top lawyers' children are doing. They have that name as their father had. It's a great disadvantage. It's a great disadvantage also. Please try to understand. आप कभी इसको ध्यान से देखना, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कॉरिडोर में जो पिछले 25 साल के टॉप लॉयर्स रहे, उनके बच्चे कहीं पे भी नहीं पहुंच पाए. So that's a struggling phase for them. Money, yes, money, fame, parties, cars, and everything is there. That's what I'm saying. If that makes you happy, वो तो कोई भी बना लेता है. वो कोई भी बना लेता है. Like tomorrow, Delhi High Court is like a showroom of some of the best cars in India.
So that's the aspiration and inspiration that we get of going to the High Court. So Supreme Court
I
also.
don't know.
I love the parking actually a lot sometimes.
Let me let me go to a little bit of philosophy. There is something known as Eastern paradox. Eastern line paradox. Yeah. My pronunciation may not be all that great. It says, and if you've done law of diminishing utility and all, if you say, you're assuming I achieved this particular thing, like having houses, properties, this, that, with good amount of bank balance, it gives you, I mean, money is important. It gives you all those luxuries.
The most important, sir, most important. Now I've come to understand. I used to not appreciate it earlier, but now I understand.
No, but what is most important is, this is important, very important, but more than this is that you want to do something where you are known as Keshav Sharma. Today, you may not be knowing this.
So,
Maybe 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, God willing, when your program is doing quite well,
you're blessed.
and what will happen? यार केशव ने वो करा था. Keshav may not be number one lawyer of India, but not all number one lawyer will, from this particular group, 10 साल बाद, 20 साल बाद, when they'll say, अरे, that guy, you know, with his various programs, it helped me. So, if you want me to conclude, I'll conclude, because I saw somebody.
No, sir, again, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to bore
put
them.
this only. Sir,
I-
so bottom line is that, sir, what time we are getting from you, sir. Anyone who really is.
And yeah, just imagine, without charging any money. This is a typical senior, huh?
It's the most, how do I say it, just so generous and kind of you. That's all that I can say, sir.
I love this. No, I can continue. I don't want people to get bored.
No, so
Those
actually,
who
sir,
get
there is
bored.
one very important question from Pranav ji again, and I really appreciate his question because it's
No,
very
I saw
relevant.
Pranav ne bol diya hai. I saw somebody else also.
Yes, sir. Mr. Yagnath sir also has a question.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah,
I'll come to Yagnath sir's question in just 1 minute. But Pranav ji's question is actually very vital because somewhere I think first generation lawyers, we don't know how exactly what is the financial dynamics that should be charged. So I'll just read it for you, sir. But very briefly, sir, considering that we've any which way exceeded a lot of your time. So I'll just read it. So he says sometimes few clients come with their cases of High Court and Supreme Court with a fee amounting to rupees 10,000 to 30,000. Should I take their cases?
Let me answer this. When I became senior, I was like, just a minute. Huh?
Certainly. Yagna sir, in the meanwhile, I request you to kindly just prepare with your question and we'll take up your question next.
Now, when I became a senior, you know, I went to some senior, and there's a background. I applied for the first time because I was an office bearer. So I said, I won't be applying because as an office bearer, I feel that's not correct. And I was massacred. Anyhow, next year I became vice president. I said, at least for this I can, because I was really massacred. And when I applied, I got 85% marks. Out of 33, 34, I got almost 30 votes. So I told the judge, what is the criteria? He said, ban to gaya. A very honest man. I said, अच्छा, पिछले साल मैसेकर किया, इस बार 85% और above दे दिया. ऐसा मैंने कौन सा केशव नंदन भारती का मैटर कर लिया? So he said, yeah, that's very strange. नहीं बनाओ तो मुश्किल, बनाओ तो मुश्किल. Anyhow, so when I went to that senior and I said, sir, I want a guidance, which will be an answer to Keshav. What's his name? Karan. So I went to him. So he said, listen, that was like amazing. You don't have a godfather. और जो तुम्हारा गॉडफादर होता है तुम उसकी कर देते हो ऐसी की तैसी. But I said, बॉस मैं आपके पास राय लेने आया हूँ, आपने तो मेरी झंड कर दी बिल्कुल से. So he said, listen, now I'm telling you, you have a very good image among youngsters. You're socially well connected. You'll never have a problem of briefing. You deliver it, and I know that you will be able to deliver to its best. फीस के पीछे मत भागना. I went to him after 5 years. I said, sir, there's a change circumstances. Fees, कहते देखो, you must be one of those very few seniors जिसको दुआएं और पैसे दोनों मिलते हैं. I said, कई लोग चीट भी करते हैं मुझे. The world is small. वो 10 रुपए लेंगे मेरे नाम के और मुझे आके
सर मैं भी
नहीं मेरे को 2 रुपए दे देंगे. तो वो कहते हैं कि देखो उनको फिल्टर करते जाओ, लेकिन जेन्युइन आदमियों को अगर आप मदद करते रहोगे, जस्ट इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ ब्लेसिंग यू आर गेटिंग. एंड व्हाट एल्स डू यू वांट इन लाइफ? यू गॉट एवरीथिंग व्हिच एनी लॉयर कुड एस्पायर. एक ऑर्डिनरी लॉयर के लिए तो ये बहुत होता है ना कि उसको घर अच्छी जगह पे मिल जाए, जहां वो किराए के लिए सोचता था कि बरसाती में भी नहीं मिलेगा, वहां घर मिल गया, पूरा फ्लोर भी नहीं, पूरा घर मिल गया. यहाँ मोटरसाइकिल थी, वहां ऑडी आ गई. बट इट टुक 39 years ऑल्सो. अब कोई आज यंगस्टर, मैं जब उस समय अरुण मोहन जी को देखता था, वो उनके कार का नंबर था 100 और ब्यूक बहुत बड़ी आती थी. तो हमने भी बोल दिया, यार हमें तो लाइफ में कभी पता नहीं ऐसा मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. बोले इसकी गाड़ी देख के ये मत सोचना ना कि ये तुमको मिलेगी. इसकी तरह मेहनत करोगे तो मिलेगी, क्यों नहीं मिलेगी. और नहीं मिलेगी, इफ यू आर हैप्पी विद व्हाट यू हैव. नरीमन साहब तो अपनी एम्बेसडर में ही आते थे हमारे टाइम पे. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता था कि एम्बेसडर पुरानी टूटी फूटी में आ रहे हैं. स्टॉप लिविंग फॉर अदर्स, लिव इट फॉर योरसेल्फ. पैसे के पीछे मत भागना. पैसा, वो 3 इडियट्स का डायलॉग है ना, कामयाबी झक मरा के आएगी. क्यों नहीं आएगी भाई? अगर आपने किसी का कुछ बिगाड़ा नहीं है तो क्यों नहीं आएगी? सो मनी इज इंपॉर्टेंट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, but not the ultimate.
Certainly, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Pranav ji, I hope that answers your question. So, Yagna sir, I request you to kindly ask your question now.
And please show your face, huh?
Yagna Dutt sir?
चले गए क्या?
No, sir, he is still here, but I think his camera is not connected. Yagna sir, you want to ask it like verbally also, you can ask.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, he's unmuted, but his voice is still not coming, actually. So I'll read on his behalf right now. Yagna sir, please, you just join whenever you can. So he says 5 reasons, same expectations as father. Like, I think probably with respect to the generational aspect only. So just, with respect to yourself only. Yagna sir, you can give more context if you ask yourself. So your voice is also gone, Kirti sir. So but I believe, sir, largely it has been covered in. So am I audible? Am I audible, sir? No.
Can you hear me?
Sir, I can hear you. I can hear you. Certainly, I can hear you. But the voice has become actually quite less. I request everyone to kindly just pitch in and say that, are we audible? Am I and is sir audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes,
Which one?
Yeah,
I
Kirti,
or
you
Kirti
are
sir?
audible.
I am audible. Okay. Kirti sir, I think they're saying that it's coming. So, all right. So there is one question from Ram Mohan Singh sir. And sir, after this question, I leave it absolutely up to your discretion, sir, since you've been so kind to give us such an extended hearing today, sir. So, Ram Mohan sir, I request you to kindly ask your question now. Very good afternoon, sir. Ram Mohan sir, can you
Good
turn on
afternoon,
your
sir,
video also?
and thank you so much that you have expressed and you have uh, explained how we can survive as a personation lawyer. So my
Ram Mohan sir,
question to you,
Ram Mohan sir, just 1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to ask Kirti sir if he can hear us. Just a second, please.
Keshavji, please unmute yourself.
All right. So I think there is some technical error and Kirti sir has just got disconnected from the meeting. He's just coming back, Ramon sir, for your question. If there is any other question, I think, since sir has been so kind to give us a very extended hearing today, and taking up all of our questions and discussing also so elaborately. So if there are any other questions, I request you to kindly just share them right now so that if possible, we'll take them. Or if not, then we'll obviously communicate to sir at least whatever questions are there.
Yeah.
Kirti sir?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great, sir. So, Ramon sir, please, sir, I request you to kindly ask. And so also, if you can just turn on your video also. Yes, sir. Please.
hello sir, good afternoon. Thank you so much for explaining us a lot of things related to the personation lawyer and experience. So my question to you is related to the guidelines issued by the Bar Council of India regarding the monthly compensation for personation lawyer. Is
ये
that, I
ये
mean, fair?
कान से निकाल लो, ज्यादा क्लियर आएगा. दोनों. Come to the natural this thing, then it will be much clearer.
Sir, ये तो कहीं चले गए. So anyways, I think he had a very relevant question. I just asked it on his behalf right now.
The Bar Council guidelines.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On what?
So he says, I'll just read it, sir. He says, sir, my question is about the recent guidelines issued by Bar Council of India regarding monthly compensation for first generation lawyers. Is that fair? I think that's for all young lawyers only, sir, I think. But is that fair? If yes, why are established lawyers not following this guideline? They often say that they didn't receive any support when they started their careers in litigation, but why should that affect new lawyers now?
Bar Council के guidelines है ना. If they want, they can enforce it also, na. So are they really serious? Are they serious in enforcing their guidelines? The answer you will get. If they are not serious, these are all good to hear. But okay, again coming back to that, हमारे time पे पैसा नहीं मिलता था इतना. इतना क्या? I told you, used to get a check of $750. The rent was 600. So just imagine, what would you do with the 750? Probably that. And particularly when you were facing that tough time in your life, when you didn't have a house for rent, the landlord filed a case.
Sir, your voice is gone, Kirti sir. So I'm unable to hear. So I think what is happening is that the universe is conspiring. So everyone, I think the universe is conspiring for us to have another session with Kirti sir at sometime soon. So now what what do I say? It's just been a blessing that we've had, such an uninterrupted long session. But at the same time, how it's moving forward right now, I think it's a sign. So I'll just take a second. I'll just coordinate with sir, and I'll come back to you with respect to. Okay, he's back. Kirti sir, I think the universe is conspiring. All right. So just one thing in the meanwhile, I am sharing a poll with everyone. I request you to kindly, please take the time out since you stayed with us for so long. I request you most humbly to please take the time to answer this. Thank you so much. Always so that everyone can hear. So hi everyone. They're having some issues with respect to getting Kirti sir back. So sir is just saying bye to everyone. I hope that it is clear to everyone. So please.
Yeah. It has been a wonderful an afternoon, and recording in progress. And I guess
Yes, sir, you're back.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
So grateful to Keshav and his team again, and all the people who had the courage to listen to me for almost 2 hours. I can't express my gratitude more than this. And Keshav says he wants to bore you guys once again and call me on some other day.
Yes,
I won't mind that. There'll be other things also, because this was more of an extempore. I'll be happy if people write questions and then I'm able to answer, rather than just giving. This was the background. Now, when you'll ask me questions, various questions, that's how I'm going to do it. Thanks once again.
Sir, most humblest and most kindest of you, sir. Deeply grateful to you. And sir, thank you so much, sir. We wish you all the very best with all of your endeavors. And we're absolutely at your service, sir. So anything for us, sir, always, please. Just let
Love
us
you
know.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Formally, I'm leaving now.
Certainly, sir. Certainly, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, again, a very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you so much for being with us. You are the reason why we are able to do this. I request you to kindly keep supporting, keep sharing. It's a very humble legal literacy initiative, so I request you to kindly just keep sharing with your friends whatever you've seen so far. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please like, share, subscribe, the usual things, you know it, and we really need your support right now. So it's very, very kind of you. And with that, I thank you so much. Kindly join the WhatsApp group, register yourself online. We don't spam, but we share updates. And obviously, we're open to your feedback and all. So, deeply grateful to you. Wish you a wonderful courts are starting again from tomorrow. So, wish you a wonderful litigation and practice. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone who's still here. Keshav ji, Shubham ji, Yagna sir, Sihir sir, Amit sir, Ashok sir, Brij sir, Hussein, Karthik sir, Neil ji, Ravish sir, RT ji, Vivek Yadav ji, everyone. Just deeply grateful to you for still, just being here after so much. And with, it's just for you.